Hello everyone and welcome back to another Starcraft 2 commentary as I changed the replay bar to faster. We got another replay on our hands with a root player. This time it is Destiny or Stephen Bonnell, and I have the privilege of having him on the call with me. Stephen, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. It's a privilege. Don't you forget it.
Okay, well, I won't forget it. You're such a classy guy. Thank you so much for doing this. Now, I'm pretty sure I'm going to put this on the Remember Tomorrow YouTube channel and the SC2 Root YouTube channel. So if you're watching this from either of those, go to the other channel and subscribe to it. And Steven, you haven't really addressed your Remember Tomorrow 0 subscribers in a bit, I don't think. You have anything to say to them or anything you've wanted to get off your chest about how the YouTube channel works or anything?
I love all you very much. I'm gonna try to start doing some exclusive YouTube content so that people actually have a reason to watch and not just get the actor. I'm not sure yet. I've got like a few ideas on the table. I'm kind of brainstorming with my YouTube guy, and we'll see what goes on with that.
Cool. Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'll definitely be sure to tune in anytime a new video comes up. But what we're doing today, we kind of did with Cats and Druby in that we kind of analyzed a replay. And we went from there, you know, obviously having the pro player here to kind of give some feedback, or not really feedback, but give some insight onto what he was doing, the decisions he was making. It's definitely beneficial to the process, and I feel like it's beneficial to the people watching. So this is going to be a match between you in the top right-hand corner, ROOTDestiny, the Blue Zerg player, and in the bottom left, we have the red Protoss player, MxGRemarK from MxG. Have you played this guy before? What was your thought going into this game? Was this a ladder game? Was this a best of 3? Is this just customs? What's going on here?
I think this was a game for one of the Home Story Cup qualifiers, or it might have even been a plan. I don't think it was a plan though, but it was like it was some qualifier or something. I'm not entirely sure what it was.
I didn't think you had to qualify for Home Story.
No, I didn't, but I tried anyway, so that people don't talk that mad smack about me, you know?
Yeah, but you ended up like not qualifying, but you still went?
Yeah, man.
That's cool. Congratulations on that. How'd you do there, by the way? I didn't see the results.
Awesome. I won a game. It's sick.
You won a game?
Yeah.
I'm so happy for you. You know, I made an announcement video on your YouTube channel.
Did you really?
Yeah. Have you seen it?
About what?
About you being at Home Story?
Oh, sick. I haven't seen it. I just got home like today, so I haven't caught up with anything.
Well, I said some pretty bad stuff about you, so hopefully you're not offended when you actually watch it.
Oh, don't worry. I never get offended.
Well, that's good. So, PVZ... Daybreak, what do you think about the matchup on this map? What are your thoughts on that?
Man, I got the nuts on this map.
You know exactly what to do to win every time?
Actually, I don't.
Can I guess? Oh, can I guess?
No.
Okay.
I don't think the map matters that much in this matchup.
Really? Like Ohana versus this?
Yeah, no, I'd have to think a little bit more about it. There are some maps that are there are some maps that are really good for PvZ all-ins.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I don't think this matchup is too map dependent. At least not with a build that I use right now.
Huh. So we see the spawning pool going down at 14. You're getting your natural in your third. Now Cats he's been doing like the 3 hatches and then getting the pull afterwards. Have you ever dabbled with that, or you two?
I don't think that's good. The 3 pools. The 3 hatch before pool actually gives you a worse economy because your queen comes out so much later.
Have you told Cats about this?
Yeah, but he disagrees, so... I don't think it like puts you way far behind or anything, but I personally don't like it.
Okay. I mean, some might say it's a little bit risky with the cannon shenanigans. Would that be a big influence on whether or not you do that, or is it just...
Yeah, I'm pretty anal about the cannon shenanigans. I mean, you can tell, you just saw, like, look at my third, like you see I've got links positioned everywhere.
That's good. I like it. Good to have links back there just to make sure you know exactly what's going on. Your overlord positioning, anything terribly specific you want to talk about regarding this, or is this just all right? I'm gonna send it closer to my opponent's main. I'm gonna check on the gases at his natural expansion.
Yep, 1 outside the net to check the gases and maybe the cyber core on the forge, and then 1 to go into the main if I'm not sure what he's doing. Yeah, usually the main one goes in at around 7 minutes. It'll kind of depend on what's going on though. And then every overlord from that point on is going into places where I think a probe might pass to put down a proxy pylon.
Sure.
With this build, I basically try to play Roachless DVP for my opening and mid game, so I'm only relying on speedlings, not necessarily to hold off an all-in, but to kill pylons so that they don't all-in.
Okay, that makes sense. And I noticed you don't really have watchtower control. Is there a particular reason for this? Is this something you should have done, or is it just you're prioritizing other things?
Watchtowers just don't mean anything. I'm more concerned with making sure I have chokes controlled. Like, look at the north and south of the map. I'm trying to get, like, overlords kind of positioned out there. I think that north one ran away a bit because I thought a Starcraft was coming. But, like, on the south, like, I'm more concerned making sure probes don't run by.
Sure.
Very rarely will a Protoss try to lay down proxy pylons, like, within range of a watchtower.
All right, and we see him taking a fast third here. Have you identified this? No, you haven't seen it just yet. Do you have reason to believe that's there, or what's kind of your thought process as far as this is concerned? At this point in the game.
I'm not sure. Actually, I'm kind of confused because there haven't been any attempts to lay down a proxy pilot, and I see he hasn't taken the gases at his expo, so that's my cue to move my overlord up to check to see if he's taking his third. To go, look, I think my overlord's moving on. Yep.
Oh, and you did spot it.
So now that I spotted, I
yeah.
transition into crazy macro mode. I made some lings, I'll try to pressure with them, but all I'm trying to do now is 3 base, as much gas as possible. I'm trying to crank out 12 to 14 mutas ASAP.
Really?
I'll use my lings to keep him locked in his base, and I'm just trying to get 12 to 14 mutas to keep him locked in his base further. Then after that, I'll try to take a 4th, get like 20 drones down there super fast.
Hold on, don't spoil. Relax.
Oh,
calm down. No spoilers yet, but
spoiler alert.
I mean, a lot of Zerg players see this 3rd going up and they're like, okay, hang on. I'm not going to let you get a 3rd in 8 minutes. That's not going to happen. Now, what goes in your decision to just let it go up? Like, some Zerg players just make a bunch of lings, a bunch of roaches, really try to pressure this. Yet,
it's all Linux to stop it, and it relies on your opponent not being good with force fields. Against like 80% of Protosses, I mean, even a lot of pros, that kind of mentality will work.
Yep.
But against some Protosses, I'm talking about people like Sase or Naniwa, like or even MC, like if you try that, like their force fields are just going to annihilate your Roachling all in. And I call it an all in because if you don't kill the 3rd with that heavy Roachling aggression, your Lair Tech, your Hive Tech, your 4th, and your Gas are all going to be way too late to mount any kind of viable mid to late game attack against a Protoss, or defense actually, because they're going to be the ones killing you.
Yeah, I mean, it just seems a little bit like you're just letting him do whatever, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, I don't know. He's just able to get his 3rd down, not really a lot of pressure being applied, doesn't have to worry about defending multiple locations at once, at least until the mutas are out, so I don't know, to me it seems very interesting. I don't know if you have any further thoughts on that.
I mean, basically the way that a real-time strategy game is played is each of you have little check marks in your game that each of you want to hit, and right now his check mark is to get a 3rd up fast, to get an economy going, and a big army, blah, 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 blah. I understand that check mark, and I have my own goals, and I'm confident that if I hit my goals while he's trying to hit that set of goals, I'm going to come out on top. Because I'm going to have a very quick hive, I'm going to have a 4th that's going to be saturated very quickly, and I'm going to have so much stuff, so much stoof, that I feel like I'm in an okay spot.
So yeah, and this is kind of where, I was talking about the map a little bit. Your 4th base, it's as far away as it can be from your opponent's main base, whereas on like a map like Ohana or like a Cloud Kingdom, you're like a lot closer. Like, where do you actually take a 4th on Cloud Kingdom that's not, closer to your opponent? It doesn't really exist. So,
sure,
does your strategy as far as mutas are concerned, are you taking that in consideration, based on the map?
I mean, very little. I mean, once with the way these timings work, like, once these mutas are out, like, he's going to be locked in his space. It doesn't matter if we're playing Steps of War or if we're playing Atlantis Space. Like, I mean, yeah.
Oh, crap. All right, cut off, but you're talking about mutas, and we were talking about map dependency. Do you remember the point, or whatever you were trying to make?
Yeah, I'm not really big on, or like, I understand like on some maps it could be harder to take a 3rd or 4th, or harder to defend, but it's not that huge, but I guess on some maps it could be kind of important. But I follow the same general template. Usually this works regardless of the map.
So, tell me about the role of speedlings in this play. I mean, obviously, ideally, you want to get some cost-efficient trades in, but a lot of Protoss players will just straight up wall off everywhere, and you're unable to do much with those. Do those have much utility late game? What's your ulterior goals with these Zerglings?
Right now, all I want to do is keep him trapped in his base as long as possible. Right now, if he moves out of his base, he's going to lose a lot of probes, and he knows that. So
basically, keeping him on 3 bases is just kind of your goal right now?
Yep, and more importantly, not attacking me, but yeah.
Sure. So what happens if you're like unable to do any damage to his economy? What if he has like cannons everywhere, stalkers in perfect position, and you just can't get damage done? Are you worried about that? Is that on your mind?
He's built a lot of cannons. I mean, that is damage. I mean, every cannon is 150 minerals.
Sure.
It's not going towards the stalker. Blah 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 blah. The fact that his stalkers are being positioned where they are means he's not attacking you with them. He's not trying to take a 4th with him. So, I mean, even if I technically don't kill a single probe, I don't consider it a bad investment. Because if you look like right now, like I've got my 4th completely saturated. I'm working towards hive. I'm getting upgrades. I'm doing all sorts of great stuff. Behind this little pressure stuff.
All right, and we see you going for a Roach composition. You have the hive on the way, so you'll be able to start that Greater Spire relatively soon. Now, obviously, if I may be so forward as to suggest, a pretty key part of this strategy is utilizing those spine crawlers. And as far as that's concerned, where do you focus on building those, and what goes into deciding where you actually put those, especially on this map?
On this map, they would definitely go on the 5th. Or like on the 4th, I don't know what you'd call it, the front base, because that connects to your natural and your 3rd.
Sure.
If they swoop down and try to kill your 4th, then you just move in and you kill their 5th. So I mean, it's typically they don't want to move that far down out of position because it's going to result in a base trade.
Okay. Like you'd probably put spines down here at your fourth too, I'd imagine.
Yeah,
I mean, sure you can put spines
like
here, but
3 or
doesn't
4.
that leave other places completely undefended?
I mean, you can put 3 or 4 spines down to the fourth, but otherwise, your third and your natural are pretty well covered by that front entrance to your main.
All right, so it looks like he's you know, getting out of his base a little bit, going to take his fourth base. Are you at all worried about this fourth base going down, or is it more like, okay, I just don't want him to attack me?
I just don't want him to attack me. Look, I'm building towards my greater spire, I'm building towards all my high tech. I'm just trying to keep him not attacking me for as long as possible.
Okay, that makes sense. We see you engaging those stalkers. Oops, I gotta put myself on busy. And you're throwing away some mutas here, but it looks like this is relatively cost efficient. I mean, at this point, it feels like the mutas aren't as important. I don't like. Obviously, they're not going to be in your late game composition. You're more working that supply towards, you know, the broodlords and the infestors, obviously. So, like, tell me about your decision to throw away these mutas here.
Yeah, it's just that I'm looking to just get rid of them at this point. Maybe I could have gone for probes there, but I mean, stalkers are okay too. I'm just looking to get rid of them basically as soon as possible.
All right, looks like he's attacking. Hold on, let me move your little face. Wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of gas. Just now morphing in those broodlords. Your supply blocked a little bit. Should probably build a few more spines considering you have the money to do so. He's not really being too aggressive right now. I don't think he has the fleet beacon down yet, or even a Stargate at that. That's kind of instrumental late game PvZ. I feel like getting that mothership. Would you kind of agree with that? And is that like on the edge of your mind that he might be going for mothership?
I mean, yeah, every Protoss heads to that eventually, but he's just trying to get his fourth set up for now.
Okay.
And I've been kind of scouting with those mutas, so I mean, I can see that he doesn't have them yet.
All right, so we see him charging towards your fifth base. You're going to engage here. The fungal's going down. Roach is not doing much. There's only 2 broodlords here. What's going through your mind right now? Are you kind of freaked out? You're like, oh, I got this? What's going on?
I thought I'd be okay here because I can reinforce quite a bit, and I figure my money's going to be quite a bit higher than his. I probably could have dropped those infested Terrans quite a bit earlier.
Yeah.
I don't have as many broodlords here as I'd like. Having 4 broodlords here would be much better than just 2. So
yeah.
This doesn't go as well for me as it could.
Doesn't go well at all. Looks like you're going to lose this base, and now you're forced to, I guess, retreat and take camp, you know, in a defensive location at one of these bases. I'm assuming he's going to proceed to the natural or the third or the fourth. And it looks like you're trying to get your forces together so you can better go for this. What's going through your mind right now? Are you starting to worry about putting down spine collars to defend against this? Just trying to save one base? Or you gonna like what's going on here?
I mean, look how much money I got. I have so much money, and I've got these broodlords morphing up top. I figure if I can just hold this attack off, I'm probably going to be in a really good spot. I just have to get rid of these units and try not to lose too much in the meantime.
Yeah, I mean, your fifth base is down. He's getting a fourth up behind this. I don't see any counter aggression going on. It looks like you should be able to clean this up. Actually, his stalker's doing a ridiculous amount of damage. You're making more and more roaches. I think these broodlords should finally get pecked away. I don't see any more corruptors in production. Your gas is getting... I guess it's still up there, but it's not as high as you would like it to be if you're of course, trying to go for the Greater Spire play, or the broodlord play. And it looks like he just keeps coming forward. At any point here, were you, like, you know, freaking out a little bit, or are you confident at this point?
No, I mean, I lost quite a few broodlords.
Yeah.
My management of my roaches is a little bit poor in keeping them together with the broodlords, and
sure.
That was a little bit off by me, but I don't feel too horrible at this point. I mean, I am working towards getting that broodlord infestor army out, and I was able to fend off that attack, and now after all of that, we're back down to even bases, even though I lost a lot of drones on my natural. So, I mean, it's not like he ever got ahead in that attack, you know?
Sure. I mean, he took down a lot of your expensive units, but it looks like you have the economy to be able to rebuild that eventually. It might take a little bit longer. Now, in your mind, are you thinking, okay, he has a timing here because I'm building I'm trying to get my expensive units out on the field. They're not out on the field yet. I'm a little bit vulnerable. Was this going through your mind, or are you feeling relatively comfortable at this point?
I mean, I'm a little bit vulnerable, but I'm trying to create a lot of roaches to compensate for that vulnerability.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense. We see these zealots going after these spine collars at the fourth. Nice transfuses with the queen. Good thing you're not terribly on top of your injections, so you can have those available. What do you consider the role of queens as the game goes along here? Like, are you building extras at this point, or is that in your mind, or are you considering pulling some queens from your hatcheries once they get maxed in larva or something? Or
yeah, after I max out on broodlord and get a decent number of infestors, I'll probably put my queens forward with my broodlords for transfusion. It's always good.
All right, and we see roaches jockeying for position here in the middle of the map, adding on more and more roaches, or actually broodlords. We got 3 on the way. We got +3 carapace, +3 missile attacks, a lot of stalkers being morphed in, and he's on 4 bases right now. I see that you have a link at the top left. Do you have burrow? No, you don't have burrow. Why don't you have burrow?
That's just a mistake. Burrow and Overlord Speed are kind of staples late game. You should always have them. There's no reason not to. I was just kind of still on edge, I guess, here that I was a little bit worried. So.
Now, would you ever consider incorporating drops? I mean, have you seen those Zerg players that have been like dropping on top of sentries and stuff? You know, like a 2-base Protoss or stuff like that.
Oh yes, against 2-base Protoss openings, I always go for Baneling drops really early. But against this more passive style of play, I don't. Sure. I opt to just go for the Broodlord Infestor.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like kind of if you're doing a lot of meatless harassment, they should be at least a little bit prepared for any sort of drops, considering like that's air units going into their main both cases. So I could see why you wouldn't really go into that. Looks like a War Prism coming forward here, being incredibly annoying. 3 Stalkers being dropped down. You have some Corruptors returning over here. What do you think the best way is to deal with War Prism play? I mean, there's the argument that, okay, building Spine Crawlers and Spark Crawlers, that's wasting drones. You'd rather have that for your economy. You could argue that, okay, I'd rather, you know, have good micro with units to deal with that. Is it cost efficient to put down Spines and Spores in all of your bases? Or
I mean, putting down a fair number of Spines isn't terrible, especially at mining bases.
Sure.
I mean, there's no, like, great way to deal with it. It just really depends on the position and the time and what's going on exactly.
Sure. All right, we see you continuing to build a lot of spores, and you're kind of getting low in money. At this point, how are you prioritizing, you know, static defense, your economy, and unit production? Ooh, you actually did a nice little trick there. 208 out of 200.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the Broodlord Infestor army out. I feel like once I get that out, I'll be in really good shape.
Yeah, I need to saturate these gases in the middle here. It's kind of important. Your other gases look fine. I think you lost your queen down here. Bottom right, nice little harassment by him. Neural Parasite on the way. Is that in anticipation of the mothership, I'm assuming?
Yeah, mothership or other air units too.
Okay. You think it's definitely worth it to try to Neural Parasite like other air units or Archons and stuff, or is it?
Yeah, if he comes at you with like 3 Void Rays and you've got no anti-air, then
sure.
Yeah, Neural Parasite is definitely great.
Sick. Well, we see a pretty big engagement here. 202 supply. You're at no infestors in this composition. Well, what went into your decision here to attack without those infestors? You're just trying to be cost efficient with the roaches, or what?
So many roaches.
Yeah,
and he has very little. Well, he has no Colossus, and I didn't see those Void Rays until later. So I mean, I figure like with Broodlords laying down Birdlings in front of the Stalkers, plus all these roaches, like it's a good attack.
You have no anti-air.
Yeah, that's not good.
I think these Broodlords are all dead.
They might be. So I think I just try to push as hard as I can while they're still alive. Like, if I were to just retreat here, nothing good would come from that. I would just lose them all for free. So I just keep pushing and pushing and pushing.
Ouch. Units lost really quick. Seems about even. You definitely lost a lot of Broodlords in this game, though. And he has a lot of Voiders on the field. It looks like your reaction is a lot of Corruptors and Infestors. Is that just based on the amount of minerals and gas you have? Or do you think that Corruptors are a better use against Infestors? Do you think it's good to have a mix of both?
Corruptors are really good because I can turn them into Broodlords afterward. I get rid of the Void Rays, and then Infestors are good because they'll keep my future Broodlords safe.
Roach is trying to do damage, but the Void Rays proving to be very cost efficient. And now the Corruptors finally coming in here to help out. Still haven't taken your gases at the middle base, so that's okay. We won't pay attention to that too much. And your Corruptors actually melting pretty fast to these Void Rays. Does he have any upgrades? He does have +1 upgrades. Do you see carriers a lot late game? PvZ, or how effective do you think they can be?
Protoss are very slow to get to them, but they do start to. Void Ray carrier should be a staple late game PvZ comp. Like, you need it to be Broodlord Infestor.
Do you think the metagame will eventually get to that point where most Protosses are doing that?
No, I don't think there's enough time. Heart of the Storm will come out before then. But yeah, carrier Void Ray is the best way to deal late game with Broodlord Infestor.
Alright. I probably agree, yeah. I can definitely see that. Looks like he's taking his base to the top left. I don't think you're really worried about that as far as I can tell. You haven't sent many units up there. You definitely know it's there, but there's a lot of cannons. How do you deal with these extra bases? Do you just not worry about them? Just worry about yourself? Is there a way to try to harass them with all these cannons here? Is it worth it to do that? Or are you leaving yourself open to counterattacks?
Yeah, it's all situational. If I sit on my roaches there now, like I would just get ran over if he base trades me. So I'm just kind of chilling. I'm trying to rebuild my army. Like, everything is really iffy right now. Like, I have no Broodlords, I don't think.
Sure.
So I mean, I just need to get that, like, my base kind of stable before I start reaching out to harass or whatnot.
Right. It makes sense, and it seems like, you know, in that last engagement, if you had scouted the void rays, you know, you definitely would have waited for, I guess, additional anti-air, considering all you had were broodlords and roaches. You know, was that like did you send it? Like, was that on your mind? All right, I should probably send an overlord in to see, you know, if he's making that Stargate transition. Is that like something you have in your mind? Okay, at this point, I'm gonna send an overlord to see, you know, if he's teching to the Stargate play, or did that?
No, that was my mistake. And he honestly he shouldn't have had void race that fast. But if you look at front of my fit there, like he's had an observer in my army the entire time. I don't know if I just didn't see it, but I should have had an overseer something to clear that out. So he was really good on his like switching to Stargate and everything, and make sure he had all of that in line to do with the broodlords I was making.
So you said he had him too early?
Well, he had him a lot earlier. He put up 3 Stargates really early, sharing my broodlord time and everything. So I mean, he was like really ready for it. A little bit earlier than I was expecting.
All right. We've got a changeling army going forward here, trying to get some additional scouting information. We have a mothership on the way, as well as an additional warp prism. Now, as far as drone saturation, as we're starting to get late, actually, hold on, we might have an engagement fairly soon here. A lot of lanes in this composition, which is pretty interesting. Do you really think they're going to be that cost efficient in an engagement like this, or was that just...
Nope, just panic links that I made earlier.
Fair enough. Getting some nice fungals onto those void rays. And I don't think he's really target firing too well. No, I don't think he's target firing at all. Infested Terran is completely cleaning those up. And at this point... Oh, and there's the GG. So, I guess that's going to do it. That was a pretty good game. He's taking his time leaving. I mean, he didn't really have a response to all those Infested Terrans. Do you think the inclusion of Infestors was just a nail in the coffin there?
Yeah, he needed, like, storms and stuff to take care of that there.
So, he also had a mothership about to finish. Yeah. Pretty decent game there, Steven. What else can we talk about? Can you think of anything else that you want to touch on, or that changes you could have done, or things that the Protoss could have done differently?
I don't know. I'm very much like in flux with this build right now. Like it's very new to me,
Sure.
so I'm still kind of experimenting with different things.
Sure. Is this like one of your go-to ZVPs, or what other things will we see from you in ZVP as far as ladder games are concerned, or tournament play?
This is my go-to right now for ZPP.
Every map too,
games
like you said, pretty much most maps.
Yeah, I feel like it works pretty well on most maps. Unless I try to 2-base all in which case I opt for Baneling drops first before going for Muta. Or I might skip Muta altogether depending on how much they 2-base me.
Sure. What do you find yourself losing to the most? Not necessarily this build, I guess, like in general. And then as far as this build is concerned, what do you think is its weakest point? Like, when do you feel most vulnerable?
My transition between Mutas to Roaches.
Sure.
If I get attacked while I'm trying to keep them in the race with the Mutas, I can get in big trouble there, but... Yeah.
And as far as in general, what do you find yourself dying to the most in the ZVP matchup? The 2-base timings, or is there a specific 2-base timing?
Yeah, different 2-base timings give me trouble still.
Okay, like the Immortal all-in's pretty good. I had another question. It's like escaping me though. Oh yeah, okay, so say I'm a Protoss, right, and I'm trying to deal with these Mutalisk play. What's the best way to deal with it? Do I just turtle, make a lot of cannons? Do I pick up everything and go for a base trade? Do I go for Storm immediately? Do I go for, you know, Colossi, Blink Stalker? What do you think is the best way to react as a Protoss player when you're going up against this Mutalisk heavy style?
I don't know. Some people will throw up like 1 High Templar in each base and then do a big attack. That can work sometimes. I mean, it just kind of depends on what kind of army you go for and how comfortable you feel managing that army.
Okay. Fair enough. And I think I'm out of questions, but, you know, thanks for coming on today with me. It was very enjoyable. Hopefully it was helpful to people watching. Hopefully the analysis was sound and people can benefit and be educated by what we're pushing out here, the content we're pushing out. Look out for more of it. Really trying to push more content onto the SE2 Root YouTube channel, so please be sure to subscribe to that. You can check out my personal YouTube channel. I usually put up casts up there of different games. It's youtube.com/AxelTossSE. All relevant information should be in the description below. Steven, any final words you want to say to the subscribers or anyone watching, any fans?
Thanks everybody for watching and supporting me.
And his Twitter, of course, will be in the description. So, Steven, thanks a lot. It was a lot of fun, and hopefully we can do it again soon. And thank you all for watching. Again, subscribe for more content from Root, and be sure to please provide feedback. What do you want to see? What exactly do you want to see? You want to see more analysis? You want to see some banter? Do you want to see you know, an SE2 state of the game for Root or something like that? You know, anything goes. Give us that feedback, and we'll see what we can do. All right, so the ending kind of cut off there. So just ending the deep breath. That's all I'm doing here. Thanks for watching.